Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Monday in the Riv and Veterans Day. And let's begin the show by thanking all those uh, men and women who put the uniform on, served their nation, and all those who made the ultimate sacrifice and for our nation. They deserve the recognition that they get not just today, but every day.
I agree. As I said before, you know, when we go around the city and we see all these homeless vets, and we have veterans who are state representatives who did not want to give them a priority for housing, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes, you have to admit.
It does, absolutely does. I mean, it's inconceivable to me how any government official who are only government officials because this country is still a nation because of the sacrifices made by veterans to not only create this country but to keep it alive. And many of them gave their lives and parts of their body, and it's just, I mean, this is what always just, like I said, it always really boggles my mind because especially in these states, and when I look at what's happening now, when we have a governor who is going to fight to keep illegals in his country while veterans can't get housing, while she isn't fighting for Americans, she talks about affordable housing, gives grants to them, manipulate it to get more market rate. They don't care. They just don't care.
And this is what cost the Democrats the election.
Exactly.
This is the thing they don't understand. Okay? And this bimbo in the state house, she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. You would think that after this election, she would say, you know what? I better open my eyes. I better open my eyes because there's something going on here that just isn't copacetic with the people who vote.
Well,
Now, granted,
you're right. You're right, Jay, but you know, the thing is they don't see it because they only look at their base. And their base, what they haven't figured out on this election is that the majority does not agree with them. The vast majority doesn't agree with them. They, you know, it's just like the media outlets. They still don't get it. These people don't care about regular people. They look at their elitist people and they have that view and they think anybody who doesn't agree with them is stupid, is worthless, is garbage, is, you know, irredeemable. And they just demean these people. They don't realize that these are the majority of people in the country. The election showed that very clearly, but in these on these elitist coasts, on the West Coast and on the northeastern coast of this country, she's pandering to her base. And let's hope in the next election they come out and bounce them out. Fall River led the way. They voted for Trump. Let's hope that they're going to get rid of people like Paul Coogan, who don't care about people having housing, who don't care about how much he raises your taxes, who only worries about his banker friends, his lawyer friends, his developer friends. They've got to go. And I think that hopefully when Trump gets into office, and I think he's appointing Tom Homan in charge of the border, which is a great appointment. The man is dedicated. He spent his entire life doing this. They should put Maura Healey and every blue state governor in jail if they fight the deportation of illegals for obstructing justice and violating their constitutional oath to abide by the Constitution. Illegals do not belong in this country, and to protect them while they're allowing veterans to sleep in the streets, while they're raising our taxes and spending billions and billions of dollars putting these people in hotels, while people with drug problems are laying in the streets, veterans are sleeping in the streets. Just look at, remember a few years ago, it was all over the news that they wouldn't even give a space for veterans to put tents up
I remember.
out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
They don't care about us. They don't care about veterans. They'll be in all the parades today. Carol Fiola and Alan Sylvia and Schmid, they'll all be walking in a parade. They'll all be pretending to like veterans. But they voted against giving veterans housing. Illegals first. They should all be put in jail. Maura Healey, they should lock her up. They should send the federal authorities to the State House and take her out in handcuffs if she obstructs the execution of justice. Because this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They don't get it. Like you said, Steve, they just don't get it. The country just blew them out of the water. And how many Democrats have figured that out? A few of them have said, look, we had no idea the way the people are thinking. We were so out of touch, it's incredible. The rest of them, all they do is they're keeping up the name calling. Oh, they're all uneducated. Oh, they're all stupid. They're all fascists. They're all everything. Well, you all got your head up your ass. Okay? Take it away.
It's amazing how, my brother-in-law had a prediction before the election. He said that Donald Trump will win with 312 electoral votes.
Whew.
And he was right. He called it. I wish I would have taken a bet on it because that was a good call. That was a good call. But that's not a short-term or a short goal. That is a mandate. That's a mandate from the people. Not only did he win the Electoral College, he won the popular vote. He won the popular vote. So nobody can say, oh, the Electoral College, we got to get rid of it. That has nothing to do with it. The popular vote carried. And the Democrats still don't understand it. People like Dan McKee in Rhode Island, Maura Healey in Massachusetts. Okay? These are people that don't get it. They don't get what the program is. We're on the 2025 program now. They're still operating on the 1966 program. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And as long as you keep looking back, well, this is the way we've done it for years, that's going to be the problem. Now, this has worked in Fall River. This is how we've done it for years. This is how we voted for years, and this has worked out for us. But now people are seeing that it's not working out for us. People are watching their taxes go up. They're watching their water bills go up. They're watching their groceries go up. Housing should not be any more than 30% of your monthly income. 30%. The average home right now is at 50% or more of their monthly income. There are some people that are paying their entire Social Security check to keep an apartment. And the average Social Security check is only $1,400 a month.
Yeah.
So what are they doing for food? What are they doing for medicine?
No, you're right.
You have no problem with that, Chip, because you see it with the retirees. They've decided, do I buy medication or do I buy food? You see it all the time too.
No, I do. And the sad part about it is these people are basically telling you they don't care about you.
That's right.
Because the rest of the country has said, stop it. And like you said, it was a mandate. They have no out. They have no out. But they're showing their absolutely incredible arrogance and how they're so condescending that if they had their way, we would, they called Trump a fascist, a dictator. They're the people who are dictators. If they had their way, we wouldn't be able to vote. It's what they just do what they want, because they've told you if it's not our way, it's the highway. Now, one of those idiot night show hosts said his last day on the air will be January 20th when Trump gets sworn in. He's leaving for Europe. Well, good riddance. But secondly, who the hell are you? Put on your big boy pants and accept it. The country overwhelmingly said, we're sick and tired of having a dump on. We're sick and tired of you people telling us that you know better than we do what we want. We're sick and tired of you saying that it's more important to take care of illegals and build your power base than it is to take care of Americans. Even though the preamble to our Constitution clearly states that we are supposed to have domestic tranquility. We are supposed to have, it's supposed to be about Americans. And they've basically said, we don't care. We're preserving the Constitution. We're for democracy. Democracy, my ass. Guess what? In a democracy, everybody has a voice. You keep telling us we don't. Shut up and do what we tell you. That's not democracy, imbeciles. Maura Healey doesn't give a shit. Oh, it's illegal to come in this country? No, I'll spend $1 billion on them, let veterans sleep in it. We'll let predatory developers run rampant all over my state, and I'll take my campaign contributions. And the hell with the people. So, they're giving you the giant finger. But the country gave them a finger back. They gave them both fingers. And they don't get it. Like you said, because they're so elitist. We don't count. Look what's happening in Holland. This is the beginning of going to World War III. At a soccer game, Muslims, mostly Muslims, assaulted Jews. It's like Kristallnacht all over again. It was horrifying. They came, it was organized, they were on motor scooters and things. They all came and they went after people at a soccer game. And the Dutch government still hasn't condemned it. Because this is what happens. And all over Europe, France, they've had issues with the Muslim populations. All over Europe, this is happening. They've allowed these radicals to come in. They live in their own enclaves, and now they're all starting already. This is the beginning. This is what happened at the beginning of World War II. And it's showing up all over, and our mainstream media is suppressing it again. They don't listen to people. They think they're smarter than everybody else, and they're going to appease everybody like Biden did. And like I said, we got our governor telling you, hey, I don't care what the country said. This is my state, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to protect our agenda, not the people, our political agenda. And that's the problem, CJ.
No argument from me, none whatsoever. I'll tell you right now. And we're looking at this, as you said, you looked at Holland, and we're looking at Europe. We're looking at the Muslims now taking on the Israelites. This is the start. This is the start. And Trump has said he will end this confrontations. He will end these wars day one. Give him 24 hours and he will end these wars. And Zelensky right now is running scared because he thinks that the U.S. is going to say, you're not getting another dime, which I think is about time.
Yeah.
I think it's about time. They had a person who works in the press in the Ukraine, and he said that he understands that there is corruption in his government.
Yeah,
But there's more benefits than just trying to go after a few corrupt politicians. No, there isn't. They're corrupt. They are corrupt. And that's where you got to stop it. We sent them billions of dollars in money and equipment. And there's been no audit on any of that. We have no idea where that money went.
Well,
and
we know
Russia,
where some of it went. Some of it
Russia's
went to
position is that
some of
Ukrainians
it
are
went to their
Russian.
pension systems. Some of them went to their salaries. It went
Right.
everywhere but a war effort. And
Right.
you know, I hope Trump tells them you're not getting another dime until we account for where all the billions of dollars we sent you has gone. And if it didn't go into the war effort, and Zelensky's become, I know he's got bank accounts all over the place. And everybody forgets they were investigating Ukraine before Biden got in.
Right.
They were known as the most corrupt country in Europe. You remember Biden bragged about calling off the investigation, and then Hunter got a mysterious job and made a lot of money. Ukraine was the most corrupt country in Europe. It was, and they were going to investigate it. They got rid of the individual that was investigating it. And Biden just now, they all love it. They all love Ukraine. All of a sudden, they're the beacon of democracy. They're not. They actually have Nazis in their government. People who declare themselves as part of the Nazi party. Zelensky outlawed religions in that country. But does the mainstream media tell you that? Absolutely not. The guy's a thug. A crooked thug. And Biden and his administration have been subsidizing this with total disregard for where your money goes, because they're all getting rich, just like Coogan and his friends in Fall River. Hopefully, we will remember this in 2 years. There will be an election in 2 years, and there will be some other elections besides local elections. And hopefully, the people in these states will not forget, because Trump is going to help America overall. But the people in these states that you talked about, CJ, like Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York,
Vermont,
Vermont's socialists. Forget about them. They should just make that like a subsidiary of Russia. because they're Vermont socialists. I mean, Bernie Sanders is so far out there that and he got elected by 60-some% of the vote, which is incredible. I think probably the fact that it was 30-some% against him is even like a massive inroads. But what we got to realize is that Trump is going to stop the border. He is going to shut down the border. He is going to help on a national stage. He is going to make our economy better. Thereby, we will get the benefit of that. But Massachusetts isn't going to get any better. We're not going to get any better when we have governors like Healy, who basically don't care about us, who think that we're inferior. They're not listening to the people. They're doing what all these talk show hosts and movie stars. We'll leave the country. Screw it. You don't give us anything. You don't provide anything to this country. What do you provide? Entertainment? I'll read a book. I don't care if Cher leaves the country. I don't care if Rob Reiner sets himself on fire. Frankly, it doesn't bother me. What I care about is what you said, CJ, that we have retirees who can't afford their rent, can't afford to eat, can't afford, have to choose between medications, can't afford their medical bills. In a nation, it gives hundreds of billions of dollars to everybody else in the world, except the people they were elected to take care of. That's what bothers me.
Nothing surprises me anymore. And my opinion of the matter is, and I am doing this, I would recommend that everyone that disagrees with Maura Healey's position send a letter to President Trump while he's still at Mar-a-Lago and tell him when he takes office to stop all federal funding to the state of Massachusetts. Cut them off where it hurts the most. The Commonwealth loses that money, they're going to be begging. You want to see how fast she turns around and the state police become border enforcement agents? You want to see how fast it happens in Rhode Island? You want to see how fast it happens in Rhode Island when they say, no, we're not giving you your money for your bridge? That's how you enforce the law with these states that want to go rogue. And you have to enforce the law. They'll enforce it on you. They'll hold you accountable. That's for sure. We've never
you're right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, what they should do is, Trump said no more sanctuary cities. At least the mayor of New York's got a half a brain. They came after him when he disagreed with him, the Democrats, and he's a Democrat. But now he stopped the debit card, giving them free debit cards with money. $53 million later, he stopped giving them free money. So this is what should happen. Yeah, I'm going to write a letter, and I'm going to not only tell them to stop giving them money, I'm going to tell them if that any governor of any state or any mayor of any sanctuary city that doesn't comply with the federal laws are arrested. Lock them up. Lock them up. They're interfering. They're interfering with the federal government executing the law.
Charge it with treason.
Do not belong in the country.
Charge it with treason.
That's right, and it should be treason, because actually, it's funny you said that. I wrote that on X. Somebody talked about getting someone for about that being violating the law. I said no. They should charge him with treason, because treason is when you ignore and do something detrimental to your country. And remember, they forget this conveniently, like all of our reps do. They swore an oath to the Constitution when they were sworn into office. And the Constitution prohibits illegal immigration. The Constitution requires them to adhere by all the laws, not just the ones they like. They don't get to ignore the ones they like Maura Healey thinks she can. They don't get to go, I don't care what the President of the United States is telling me. I don't care. States' rights are guaranteed to the states. They don't have a guarantee to ignore the laws. Federal law takes precedent, just like they all forget that it is illegal for a state to pass a law that diminishes anything that's quoted in federal law. If they say you got to have a speed limit of maximum of 65, and you say no, we're going to say it's 80. You're violating the law. You can't do that, and they can withhold your funds. They did that with the highways. You know, they forget that
in North or South Carolina. Didn't they do that in North or South Carolina because their high speed was 70?
Yeah, they did. You know, they withheld federal aid for any kind of the highways, and then of course most of them stopped. But that's what they can do. They don't realize that you can pass laws that are more stringent than federal law, but you can't pass laws that lessen any federal law. And, you know, Maura Healey, apparently, they all forget their basic civics. And they forget that they swore an oath to the Constitution. Just like our city council thought they didn't have to listen to the people, that citizens' input. Just like the school committee thought they didn't have to listen, and who now school committee and Colin Dias filed a complaint and won. They just conveniently, these Democrats, because they think we're lesser. We don't have to listen to them. They're the peons. They're the garbage. They're the riffraff. They're the deplorables, the irredeemables. So this is what Hitler did. And like you said, what they were doing is the beginning. It doesn't see, that's the problem. They never learned from history. The Jews are the canaries in the coal mines. That's where they start. Hitler didn't stop with the Jews. After that, he wanted to get everybody but Germans. He wanted the Aryan race to run the world, and everybody else was only there at their discretion. He didn't stop with the Jews. Do you think these Muslims are going to stop with Israel? You think that's these imbeciles that are saying free Palestine? Palestine has been free since 2007. We keep telling you that, morons. They gave them that state. It's about killing everybody who isn't a radical Muslim. That's what it's about. The Jews, again, are the first step. If they eliminated every Jew on the planet, then they would come for the Catholics and the Protestants and anybody who is not Muslim. Do you remember something that was called the Crusades? Who were they trying to kill? Everybody that wasn't Muslim. Okay? Can't figure that out? I don't know. Because they attempted to take over everything. They took over Spain, which was predominantly Catholic. England fought in the Crusades, predominantly Protestant. National Church of England is what, Episcopalian, I believe?
Episcopalian, yep.
Some form of Episcopalian. But they don't stop with them. It's only the beginning. All these morons running around with Palestine, free Palestine, if they got their wish, they'd be the next ones to get eradicated. I mean, their stupidity is just, it's inconceivable how dumb they go to college now and they get dumber. They know less about the world. They come out stupider. But they don't listen to the people. That's the whole problem. They talk about democracy, yet look at it. Trump got an overwhelming pot. So what are they going to say now? They said, well, Hillary won by a hair's breadth. She won the popular vote. She should be the president and eliminate the electoral college. It should be just on the well. Trump won both. So what are they telling you now? Eliminate voting at all. Shut up, you idiots! Shouldn't have the right to vote. Just let us tell you what you need. That's what they want to do. Now they have no fallback position. Eliminate the electoral college because that sucks. Even though it was a brilliant idea to allow balance. Popular vote. Well, the guy wins the popular vote. The guy wins the electoral college. What do you got left? Eliminate the entire process. Just let us tell you who's going to govern. And that's what the Democrats want. And unfortunately, it's not the majority of Democrats. There were a few who were saying, look, we're not listening to the people. If the party doesn't self-correct and move back to somewhere in the vicinity of sanity, that party will not be in power on a national level for decades.
And that's the scary part about it. I don't think they will self-correct. I don't think they will. And if they don't, they're obviously too obtuse to understand. The people have spoken. The people have spoken. It's time to stop. I still see on social media, he's going to take away your rights. He's going to take away gay marriage. He's going to take away abortion. He's going to run Project 2025. He's going to take away your rights to churches. He never said any of those things. He never said any of those things. And again, with Trump, you have to understand, he's a man that has no filter. He has no filter. And I understand a president should have a filter. But that's why people take this man seriously. Because if he says, I'm going to push the button, he's going to push the button. So there's no question about it. So when he says he's going to deport 11 million people when he takes office, I believe it. I believe it.
You should.
With or without the help of the governors of Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Vermont and Connecticut and New York.
And California.
But
let's look at what he did. You're right, CJ. Let's just look at the historic thing he achieved. Like you said, he's got no filter. Sometimes he says things that you go, geez, you know, you're some, but that's the great thing. That's the reason that people, they like him so much. He's not a politician.
Right.
He's going to tell you the way he feels. And people like him and they get upset. And he told his own party, because remember, people have already forgotten now. They're all on a Trump bandwagon now. All the Trump haters, all the Trump, naysayers. He's the only one that maybe can get beat. Any Republican candidate can win that election except Donald Trump. And look what he did. He didn't pay any attention to what his own party, the Trump haters in his own party, said about him. He took it to the people. He took the message to the people. He told the people, looked him in the eye, told him what he was going to do. They tried to kill him twice. They assassinated him in the courts. They attempted to assassinate him in the media. They came at him in every way they possibly could, and he gave them the finger and said, I'm going straight ahead, and I'm taking this to the people. If they don't believe what I say, I won't get elected. But you know what he did? He connected with the people of this country. He did what politicians are supposed to do. He went there and said, I'm going to be your guy. I'm going to represent you. And he showed true democracy. The people came out and made a historic mandate. And these elitist son of a bitches still want to ignore it. Even the people in their own party, the Democratic Party, were saying, gee, what are you doing, you imbeciles? We've got to Get back toward the middle. We can't let a bunch of progressives who are the minority of our party run the party. But they are. You know why? They're all wimps. You call them the wrong pronoun, they go hide in the closet. They need milk and cookies. It's like Georgetown. We got to set up a room with Legos for college students. Legos and milk and cookies. These people, you don't have to identify as anything, because if they checked your scrotum, there'd be nothing in it. They got no balls. It's that simple. They're letting a bunch of loudmouths run their party. Go over there, punch them in the mouth, tell them, shut up, go sit in the closet. If you can get elected in your district, that's fine. But you just cost us the White House for maybe the next 20 years. But they can't, because they're all wimps.
I hear you. And you're right. It doesn't get, people don't understand. You've got to be right there with the people. You have to connect to them. In the days when our presidential candidates used to board a train and go across the country, not use TV, not use radio, but use their voice. They made appearances. They spoke to people. The press carried what was said. Not what they wanted to feel-good sayings. They carried what was said. That's how you connect with the people. And Trump did that. Trump didn't say, I feel your pain. Trump showed the pain. And Kamala Harris just said, it's going to be it's going to be a change. It's going to be a change. There's going to be a change. What change? Show me. Tell me. What change? We're going to turn the page. We're going to turn the page. Let's turn the page.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was listening to a children's book,
Well, you got to give Trump credit. He had the courage to say, I don't care what you say. I'm going to do it my way. And if the people don't agree, I'm not going to get elected. But I'm going to tell them what I truly feel and not be a politician. Say, this is what I think. I feel you. I'm one of you. I'm for you. And they believed him. While everybody else sat on a fence and they didn't realize they've been sitting on a fence so long the picket's up their ass now. Because that's how long they've been on a fence. It's already inserted itself. And this is the problem. Like you said, Kamala was like, I know nothing. I have no position. I grew up in a middle-class family. Well, what do you think about the border? I grew up in a middle-class family. Well, what do you think about the war in Europe? I grew up in a middle-class family. What do you think about what's happening in the Middle East? I grew up in a middle-class family. That's all she said. And all these people are going, you're the uneducated people. Well, I think you're morons, because that woman never had one policy, never articulated anything. Donald Trump did, like you said, what the old politicians did. Teddy Roosevelt got shot and he finished his speech. They attempted an assassination on him. I don't know, it was in Wyoming or South Dakota, up in one of the, up in one of those states up there. He got shot and he got up and finished his speech. And this is when people, like you said, the presidents were on the back of a train talking to people directly, looking them in the eye, not with TV commercials and social media and TikTok and stuff like that. And that's what Trump did. They used to make fun of Trump. Oh, all these crazy rallies. He went to the people. He took a chance. He took a chance. He campaigned like an old politician did, because they needed the people in those days. And now these elitists don't think they need us, but now they got hopefully, I don't know. I'm not optimistic that the mainstream media will ever wake up, because they're irrelevant now, just like night talk show. Those, They're leaving on the 20th of January. Nobody will notice anyway. There's about 12 people that watched those night show hosts that are crying like little babies on their show, weeping. You know, suck it up. You know, put your big boy pants on. It's time.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
I'll tell you, it's hysterical watching these people. I mean, they're just out of control. I mean, both of my kids went to college, just even more than undergrad. So they went to college a long time. If they would have gone to a college that gave them milk and cookies because of an election, I would have dragged them out of that college. The next day, they would have been somewhere else. I'm sorry.
That's it. Yeah,
I mean, they're creating an entire generation of nitwits.
I agree. And that's a problem. Hey, you know, we started this show off with Veterans Day and we got into this, and we need to go back to Veterans Day for a minute. I called Government Center today because I wanted to be sure they were closed. Nobody answered the phone. But when I checked the holiday schedule for trash pickup, which is right here, you will notice that there is no November 11th on it. There's no Veterans Day.
Yeah, well, veterans don't count.
Well, obviously in this city it doesn't. So are they picking trash up today? Are we on a regular trash schedule? According to the city schedule, we're on a regular trash schedule.
Well, you can't find out because nobody's working. They all got the day off. But
that's right.
The trash is being picked up because then again, veterans, well, they did call us all garbage, right?
That's right.
There you go. They're taking out the trash. So, and the veterans are probably the ultimate garbage. They had they were insane enough to put a uniform on and serve their country, but this is the problem. Nobody cares. We don't get any information. Speaking of that, I got to segue quickly. I got a call last night. I didn't have a chance to talk. It was late last night, actually. Do you know there was a fire at, I think, Spencer Boarding School?
Yes, I knew. It was last week. It was in the boiler room. I was
told. Now, this is an allegation. We're going to have to dig into this one. It was I think it was a hot water heater. Gas.
Yeah, it was in the boiler room.
It was in the boiler room.
Yes.
But I was told, now you ready for this one? I know this won't surprise you, CJ. That I think that it was a hot water heater or something, or a boiler or whatever. Whatever it was. It was defective and stuff. But I was told by this individual that this thing had been defective for a couple of years already, and that right alongside of it, they had the replacement, and it was never installed.
I believe it.
And that the fire that it created actually damaged the replacement boiler.
That I believe too.
So there goes Ken Pacheco again and our entire maintenance budget. And remember what Paul said. It don't matter. He screwed everything up and admitted it and said he doesn't give a shit about bids. He doesn't care about anything or your money. He tries. Yeah, give another pay raise, Paul. That's what we need. So again, they had to replace, just like we had the building. Remember the building they lost?
Yep.
They found it like 5 years later or 10 years later. There was a building, a prefab building that they didn't know, that they forgot about, that by the way, we bought. So supposedly there was a replacement to so that fire that they had to close down the school, if it would have been maintained. But remember, we have Kenny Pacheco got a pay raise. We got an entire damn division dedicated to school maintenance, in spite of the fact that the city ordinance clearly states that DCM is in charge of all buildings. It doesn't say all buildings except school. It says all city buildings shall be maintained by DCM. But That's okay. They got their own. So they got two. They got DCM and they got the school department maintenance division, and we still get any maintenance. So we're going to have to check into this, people, because we're going to reach out to our contacts on the school committee and have them ask some questions here. Because remember, I still got the pictures. You know, amazingly enough, I don't know. It's almost like I planned this. I still got the pictures.
I just deleted those from my system.
I still got the hard copies.
Yes, I know you do.
This is the filth in the ducts. This is the filter in the ducts. So again, let me remind you, when Paulie, the chairman, ex officio chairman of the school committee, our mayor, keeps giving everybody pay raises, and this is what you get. And you can't afford it, but all his friends are getting richer. Remember, next November, let's have all those people that came out to vote for Trump. Let's all come out again. Get off your asses, get down there and get more people than this time to get everybody. Clean the sixth floor out, clean the council out, and clean the school committee out. Vote only for those people who fight for you, and I can count them on one hand, not just the school committee, but everybody, and I got fingers left over. Okay, let me see. Right. 1, 2, 3. That's it. 3. Oh, wait a minute. Oops. So that's it. But that's what we got to do. You know, Trump is going to prove he's going to turn America around, and he's already done that. Look at, Qatar threw Hamas out already. Europe is already, they're already saying they're going to buy oil from the United States, not from Russia. People, they're starting to shake in their boots, and he's not even in yet. So
right.
If that doesn't prove to you that if you get people in who really want to do the right thing for you in government, not career politicians like, again, they elected freaking White House, Boofer boy, Sheldon gets reelected again. These people are worthless. Elizabeth Warren. I haven't heard Elizabeth Warren this entire campaign season. Have you?
No.
She's been hiding in a closet. But they elect her again.
Yeah.
So let's get out. On this Veterans Day, we're back to veterans again. My brothers and sisters who put the uniform on, I'm glad. I got a few texts from people. And today is a day that's always solemn to me. We used to not do a show today, but today I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do this show, and I'm going to go to the cemetery and clean off my dad's World War II plaque. And that's it for today. Today is a day I will sit down and reflect. And later on tonight, I will have two glasses of Glenlivet, 18-year-old. So
there you go. And on that note, I want you all to remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. We'll see you on Wednesday. Remember, a veteran today. Say hello. Say thank you. And remember those that aren't with us. Have a good day.